Hi, welcome to lesson 3 on dividing fractions. So at this point in time, you should have gone over either as a class or in a small group or a partner, the Hershey problem, and when we divide fractions, why we get a larger number as our answer than our original dividend. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the steps to divide fractions. Step 1 is to keep the first fraction the same. Step 2 is going to be to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. So second step is to change. And the third step is to flip the second fraction. So what we're doing is we're using the reciprocal. Okay, so we're going to go through this example right now. We've got 9 divided by 1/12. Now right away we know that we cannot divide with whole numbers, so we need to turn this into a fraction by putting it over 1. Now we can go ahead and rewrite the problem, keeping the first fraction the same, so putting 9 over 1, changing this division sign to a multiplication sign, and flipping the numerator and the denominator in the second fraction. So instead of 12 on bottom, we're going to put 12 on top and 1 on bottom. Now, since we are multiplying fractions, we can ask ourselves, can these be cross-canceled? And it turns out that they cannot be cross-canceled. So we're going to multiply straight across. We're going to get 1 on the bottom. And we're going to say that 12 times 9 equals 108. So our answer is 108 over 1, which when we simplify, simplifies just to 108. All right, let's go ahead and try one more together before you try some on your own. Here we've got 9/14 divided by 3/28. So again, we're going to keep the first fraction the same. 9 over 14. We're going to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. And we're going to flip the second fraction. So we're going to take 28 on top and 3 on bottom. So here we're multiplying by the reciprocal, or the opposite of that second fraction. Now we're going to ask ourselves if any of these can be cross-canceled, and they can. 9 and 3 can turn into 1 and 3. 14 and 28 can both be divided by 7, so that can turn into 2 and 4. And now we just multiply straight across. 3 times 4 is 12. Oh, I'm sorry, I messed up. 14 and 28 actually can be both divided by 14, so this can simplify to 1 and 2. So then when we multiply across, we get 3 times 2, which is 6. We get 1 times 1, which is 1. 6 over 1 simplifies to just 6. All right, go ahead and try this next one on your own. Pause the video and then come back as soon as you're ready to check your answer. All right, let's check our answer. We're going to keep the first fraction the same. We're going to change the division to a multiplication sign. We're going to flip the second fraction so that we're using its reciprocal by putting 48 on top and 21 on the bottom. We're going to cross cancel. So 48 and 16 have a greatest common factor of 16, which gives us 16 divided by 16 is 1. 48 divided by 16 is 3. 6 and 21 have a GCF of 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Now we're just going to multiply straight across. 2 times 3 is 6 on top. 1 times 7 is 7. And our final answer is 6/7. All right, example 4, again, I want you to try on your own, but remember, just like when we're multiplying, we can't multiply with mixed numbers. So what we have to do first here is we have to turn them into improper fractions. Let's go ahead and try that together now. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 2 is 32. Denominator stays the same. Divided by 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8 over 3. Now, we have a normal division problem. So now we're going to follow our keep, change, flip directions. Go ahead, pause the video, try this one on your own, and then come back as soon as you're ready to check your answer. All right, let's go ahead and check our answer. We've got 32/5 divided by 8/3. So we're going to keep the first fraction the same. We're going to switch the division sign to a multiplication sign. We're going to flip the second fraction to 3/8. Now we're going to ask ourselves, can we cross cancel? Can we simplify these? 32 and 8 have a GCF of 8, so 32 divided by 8 is 4. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 5 and 3 do not have a greatest common factor, so we're going to leave those the same. We now multiply across. 4 times 3 is going to be 12 as our numerator. 5 times 1 is going to be 5. We're left with an improper fraction, and we know anytime we have an improper fraction, we can simplify that by turning it into a mixed number. 5 goes into 12 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. The difference between 10 and 12 is 2, so that's our numerator, and our denominator stays the same. So I'm left with a final answer of 2 2/5. All right, thanks so much for watching. Please see your teacher if you have any questions before beginning the practice.